All right, greetings, y'all. This is me again. The topic of discussion is Epicureanism. It's a little black pill talk. What prompted me for this stream, this topic, is from recent discussions from Black Ip Moore's channel when they did the DMX thing, and PK wanted to ask me about utilitarianism, so that's what I'm basing this on. But I got some links and proof about the concept of utilitarianism, and that's what I'm gonna roll with. And I'm gonna see in a minute. I'm gonna check out the chat. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, man. Yeah, I gotta get this under control. Right now, go stream back. I'm gonna make this. I don't like when they do this. Little silliness right here. Yeah, I'm learning how to do this. Okay. Yep. No. That's not what I'm. Okay. Oh, I hate doing this. I really don't like streaming odds like this. Okay. I can't start yet until I get this shit under control. Hold on. They ain't gonna act right. Yeah, give me that. Come on. Let's look at the stream. Let's look in here. Yeah. There we go. Give me 1 second, y'all. Cause I gotta get this out of the way. We'll educate y'all. Nonprofit activism. Yeah. This is kind of how to deal with this. All right. Yeah, but Zoom's expensive, bro. All right. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Let's get down to business. Epicureanism. I'm gonna break this down for PK. Okay, Epicureanism is a system of philosophy based on teachings of Epicurus, founded around 307 BCE. It teaches that the greatest good is to seek the modest pleasures in order to attain a state of tranquility, freedom from fear. Exteria and absence from bodily pain. Aphenia. This combination of states is held to constitute happiness in its highest form. So Epicureanism can be considered a form of hedonism. So we already know that's in the utilitarian form, but it did birth utilitarianism. So although it differs from its concepts of happiness, you hear that word happiness again, as the absence of pain and its advocacy of simple life. And here's the scholar Epicurus, directed that this is the state of tranquility could be attained through knowledge of the workings of the world and the limiting desires. Thus, pleasure was able to obtain by knowledge and friendship, living a virtuous, temperate life. He lauded the enjoyment of simple pleasure, by which he meant to abstain from bodily desires, such as sex, appetites, verging on asceticism. He counseled that a poverty as his honorable state. Yeah, asceticism. Yeah, we're gonna get to that later. What he meant by that, and that's part of this form as well. I might do a future topic on that. And when we talk about Epicureanism, I'm just gonna throw a few things around. He argued. Oh God, I hit something. Goodness, no. Did I hit that? Did I hit that by accident? Yeah. Okay, I hit that by accident. Okay, sorry about that. Hit that by accident. All right. Where was I? Okay. He argued for moderation in all things. So that was when eating, for an example, one should not eat too richly, for it could lead to dissatisfaction later, such as indigestion or the grim realization that one could not afford, such as the delicacies in the future. Likewise, sex could lead to increased lust, dissatisfaction with the sexual partner. Epicurus himself remained celibate. Even learning, culture, and civilization were discouraged, and as they could result in disturbing one's peace of mind, except for insofar as knowledge could help rid oneself of religious fears and superstitions, such as the fear of the gods and death. Yeah, and they use the term celibacy or celibate. Some powerful stuff. Okay, generally speaking, Epicureans shunned politics as far no part in the quest for exteria and aphenia, likewise a potential source of unsatisfied desires and frustration which was to be avoided. Like Democritus, Lucafeus before him, and Epicurus was the autonomous believing that all matter, souls, and gods are all comprised of atoms. Even thoughts are merely atoms serving randomly. That sounds like a utilitarian mindset to me. And they believe in this stuff, and they don't get into domestic politics or geopolitics, what it sounds like in this graph right here. Epicurus was one of the first to develop a notion of justice as a kind of social contract, an agreement neither to harm nor be harmed. He argued that laws and punishment in society are important so that individuals can be free to pursue happiness. Pursuit of happiness. There he goes again. And just a law is one that contributes to promote human happiness. In some respects, this was an early contribution to the much later development of liberalism and of utilitarianism. You see that again. We just talked about it with the change of construct of utilitarianism live stream recently. In modern popular usage, an epicure is a connoisseur of the arts of life and the refinements of the sensual pleasure, and especially of a good food and drink, attributable to the misunderstanding of the Epicurean doctrine as promulgated by Christian Polymaceus, something like that. Yeah, so everybody adopted this principle. Yeah, that's what they teach in this black pill stuff in the esoteric Manosphere 2.0. I see. The history of Epicureanism. Yeah, we're going to get that in a minute and see what's going on here. Yeah, you get what you pay for. Right. Let's get back to the topic. Epicureanism was originally conceived by Epicurus as a challenge to Platoism, although arguably Democritus, Democetrus or something like that. Yeah, Democetrus had propounded a very similar philosophy almost a century early, along with Stoicism and skepticism. We just talked about Stoicism and skepticism in the Epicurus video. I think I did a short stream on that on both, or mini stream for myself. I didn't use StreamYards. I think I did a piece on the two. I think it was 2 parts. Yeah. The school of Epicureanism later became one of the 3 dominant schools of the Hellenistic philosophy, lasting strongly through the later Roman Empire. During Epicurus' lifetime, its members included Hieromachus, Idomeneus, Clotus, Polonius, Metrodorus, Locarius 99 I would say 99 BCE to 55 BCE, was the school of the greatest Roman proponent, composing an epic poem, De Rerum Natura, one of the nature of things, on the Epicurean philosophy of nature. The poet Horace, 65 to 8 BCE, Julius Caesar, 100 BCE to 44 BCE. Interesting. Both lean considerably towards Epicureanism. After the official approval of Christianity by the Roman Empire, Constantine, 272, 307 CE, and 313 CE, Epicureanism was repressed as an essential, irreconcilable yet irreconcilable with the Christian teachings, and the school endured a long period of obscurity and decline. In modern times, the French philosopher and the priest Pierre Gassendi, 1592 CE to 1655 CE, referring to himself as an Epicurean, in an attempt to revive the doctrine, as did Thomas Jefferson, 1743 to 1826 CE, currently, and the utilitarian Jeremy Bentham. Yes, the utilitarian philosopher. Again, it has a connection with utilitarianism. Yeah, and you got utilitarianism and religion. Utilitarianism emphasized neutrality of the gods, their non-interference with human lives, excuse me, although it did not deny the existence of God, despite some tendencies towards the atheism. It conceded the gods as blissfulness, and I'm going to turn this off, but okay, blissful and immortal, yet material material beings as atoms, and having the empty spaces between worlds and the vastness of infinite spaces too far away from from the earth to have an interest in what was doing. It rejected any possibility of an afterlife, while still contending that one not fear death. It can be argued that the philosophy is an aesthetic on a practical level, but avoids the charge of atheism on a theoretical level, thus avoiding to the fate of Socrates, who was tried and executed for atheism of his beliefs. The paradox of Epicurus is the earliest known description of the problem of evil. See the section on philosophy of religion, and it's a famous argument against the existence of an all-powerful provincial god or gods. It can be stated, if the god is willing to prevent evil, but it's not able to, but then it's not omnipotent. But if he's able but not willing, then he is malevolent. If he is both able and willing, then why is there such thing as evil? If he is neither able or nor willing, then why call him God at all? There are interesting parallels to Buddhism, which is similarly similar similarly emphasize a lack of divine interference as aspects of atomism. Buddhism also resembles Epicureanism in its temperateness, temperateness, including the belief that great excesses leads great dissatisfaction. Yep, it has a lot of it. That's Epicureanism, and that's Epicureanism in religion. So it gives you pieces of what it is. So we're going to get into another field topic of it. Let's go to asceticism. I researched this last night. So yeah. Asceticism, yes, describes life categorized by voluntary abstinence from various sorts of worldly pleasures, especially sexual activity, consumption of alcohol, accumulation of poverty and wealth, and pursuing religious or spiritual goals. Ancient Greeks, cynicism and stoicism adopt the practice of two. Yeah, and some extent did Epicureanism. Diametrically opposed to asceticism is hedonism. The philosophy of that pleasure is there. Yeah, this is like a rival to it, but they act words like this. Yeah. So I might do a piece on that. That could be a form of nihilism, but yeah, I'll give you the basics of Epicureanism. Epicureanism is a form of utilitarianism, and you hear the word pleasures of happiness, right? So we know what liberalism is. I'm going to give you a broad spectrum of political philosophies considered individual liberty, rights, and equality. That's what liberalism, they teach you, but it's a mixed economy and all that. And we don't have to get into that. You can find this on philosophybasics.com and all that. Socialism, totalitarianism, that's all forms of liberalism. So I ain't going to get into that. Y'all can research that for yourself. But we're going to go for the main one. It is called utilitarianism. Yeah, the ideal of moral wealth solely determined and overall utility in maximizing happiness or pleasure. You hear the word pleasure and summit among all people and a total utility. So what I just found out about Epicureanism, the history of it, the origins of it trace back to Epicureanism. That's what we're talking about. And the Greek philosopher Epicurus and Edmund Burke was a proto-utilitarians, right? Yeah, Epicurus and Stoicism. And we got the history of Platoism. So yeah, it's a form of it. And someone asked me about it over PKs and Art Edmores, and that's what we have. And we this is a philosophy I want to get into, and we can talk about it. I'm gonna keep this up. I can read it again. It teaches greater good, seeking the modest pleasures, in order to attain the state of tranquility, freedom from fear. I won't say abstinence. I mean absence from bodily pain. This combination of states is held to constitute the happiness in its highest form. That sounds like utilitarianism to me. It ain't nihilist to me. I don't know what he's talking about when we debate it. So, yeah, man. I'm just going to look this up. I'll show you the comparison. I'll remove that. So, I'm going to stop screen share. Share screen. Let's see what we're going to do here. I'm on Chrome for a minute. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like me and Gabe talked about. But you got two types, the quantitative utilitarianism and the qualitative. But I didn't get into the numbers. The scope for the human happiness is impossible to quantify. This is one of the primary criticisms of quantitative utilitarianism. Human perception of the same experience varies great among individuals. The fact does not allow for a consistent quantified process. In addition of all ethical systems stemming from consequentialism, the belief that actions are judged on the basis of their consequences are limited by by the ability to guess as to future consequences of present actions. Okay. Aggregated measures of happiness is number 2. Ignore the distributional aspects. Consider 3 actions, X, Y, and Z. The effect each actions on 5 individuals given below. So we got person A's perspective, right? Let's look at something right quick. We're going to big up the screen a little bit so you can see. Oh, you can see it. Okay. Let's look at it for a minute. So you see A right here is 100 on the XY. Then the Y is 250. The Z is 400. And you also have B's 100 and 150 and 50 on the Y. Z is probably based off generations, so we don't know. And that's their happiness. So it's 50 and 25 in each. So C's and D's both have 25 on the Z column. E has 20, 50 on the B column. So B's got 150, but on the X side, B's got 100. They all have 100, so that's 500. Then they have 500. So you got 150, 250, but you got 50, 30, and 20 on D and E's happiness, and that equals to 500, the greatest number. Then the greatest number is 520. So Z has 400, 50, 25, 25 on C, and D on D's column, and 20 on E's column. So we get the 520 from. You add that up. Utilitarianism would prefer action Z over XY. And an addition of action to XY would be considered equal because they yield the same level of aggregated happiness. Yep. You see it in, where do you see it? Y and Z have the same type of happiness, but we're the same. Not much, but it's, Z's better. So, you see the numbers. 3, the motives behind these actions are ignored. Consider 2 individuals, A and B, who donated 100. and $1,000 respected to charity. Supposed individual donate the money because he wanted to help charity. Individuals be made in the donations so that he could improve his own standing in society. Utilitarianism would consider individual bees donation to be superior to individual as donation, despite the fact that it was made with an ulterior ulterior motive, less than noble motive. More resources, CFI. They're showing you all that. Okay, yeah, that's utilitarianism, but it gets the key words: whatsoever, morality, happiness, calculus, virtue, and all that stuff, and pleasure. It's got it up on the screen. I'm gonna stop screen sharing that. I'm going to go back to the original point to see the share. Let's share real quick. Got 20 minutes in. So we're going to talk about this, man. Let's share it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah. Epicureanism, man. We got the history of it. Oh, we went to the same thing. Okay, let's look at this again. Epicureanism is a Hellenistic school or system of philosophy based on the teachings of the Greek philosopher Epicurus, and it was founded around 307. Okay, and here's the metaphysics, emphasizing the neutrality, non-interference with human lives, despite some tendencies towards atheism, but it does not actually deny the existence of gods, which concedes of a immortal, immortal yet material beings made up of atoms inhabiting the empty spaces between worlds in the vastness of infinite space. Okay. And you got Platoism, hedonism, and all this other stuff. Okay. That's just a piece of it they took. So we can go back. So yeah, I'll look something up for a minute. See what's going on in the chat. Yeah. I'm gonna look up Epicureanism for a minute. We're not gonna renege this. Yeah, the topic is Epicureanism. We talked about it just now in like 20 some minutes, and there's a good feel of it. And it's like it says, it's got all the doctrines. You see liberalism in there, and he was talking about pieces of it. I'm gonna research it. I'm gonna say is Epicureanism. Is Epicurean? I'll say a form of let's see what we get. Although Epicureanism is a form of hedonism and so forth, declares pleasure to be sold in intrinsic goal concept, absence of pain and fear, coldly understood. Okay, Epicureanism. Okay, let's look at Reddit. I'm gonna do something real quick. Is it philosophy? A long time ago, Epicureans believe they try to conflate the two. This is what happens when you go on Reddit. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. Let's look at the Wikipedia. Uh, let's look at it. I'm just gonna look at it again. Still safe pleasure of life. Yeah. To me, it's a form of utilitarianism, man. I don't see no nihilism in me. If I try to search for it, yeah, you do what you do, man. I'm trying to see something. And you got, yeah. I don't know why they say that's nihilism, but it's not to me. To me, it's not. I just don't see it. Nihilism means to destroy. It's change of destruction. You don't hear the terms. Now, skepticism is a form of nihilism. Now, skepticism is nihilistic. See, utilitarianism is Epicureanism, and hedonism is hedonistic. And a lot of people try to say that's nihilist, but it's not. So I'm going to do something real quick. We're going to look at the word hedonistic, and we're going to break this down because I get so tired of individuals trying to say that it's not what it is, but I got proof in the Epicureanism and the basic philosophy. That's what it is. I don't have to argue with people about this stuff, man. This is a waste. That's coming from this 2.0 esoteric like space and claiming they're black, pro-black and all this stuff. It's silly. But I'm get so tired of these fake esoteric teachers, man. It gets so annoying. And then I don't say hedonism. I don't get the basics of it. And while we're at it, let's go by the wiki, just to back up. So since we're going to hedonism, let's go with it. This is a form of some people say it's a form of utilitarianism, and we're going to read the key words. It's nothing nihilistic. See, nihilism is existentialism. It's extension of stoicism, and it's extension of skepticism. So I don't know why in the world people say it's nihilist. Okay, let's see the comment. Okay, so this is something that you find wrong, or maybe I didn't see the other vid, but I'm not fully understanding. Well, it was I had a small debate with PK Angel. BGS try to say this was nihilistic, but it's not. But I'll break it down. Like 1 minute, he said this is like nihilism, right? But then when you find out the word utilitarianism, it is a form of the same thing of utilitarianism. The key words I'm looking for is pleasure, good, and happiness. And the other one has unhappiness. But utilitarianism also preaches right and wrong, a little morality, but it's like a balance. So you do have it in certain societies, like the military he mentioned. Yeah, it is utilitarian, but he's talking about the rule. But I'm talking about the total of it, because you got guys in certain black pill spaces like his teaching that it's the opposite, but it's really not. You know, they miss defining words and try to bastardize them, and I'm not going to stand for it. So I'm just going to put this hedonistic thing up so you can understand. But I got the wiki up. I'm going to read this real quick. It's a philosophy that pleasure is the most important pursuit of mankind, and the only thing that is good for an individual. It does talk about that in utilitarianism. And if you're a hedonistic utilitarianism, it's the same thing. Therefore, strive to maximize. And you hear the word maximize, like what is total utilitarianism? It's the maximum of happiness. And you hear the word their total pleasure, the net of any pleasure less than any pain or suffering. They believe that pleasure is the only good in life. The pain is the only evil. See? It's like the right and wrong again. And our life goals should be the maximum pleasure and minimize pain. That is a form of utilitarianism. That's what hedonism is. They're really the same thing. So you see utilitarianism again. We're going to read that from the bottom. Okay. Psychological hedonism is the view that humans are psychologically construct. You hear the word construct again. Okay. In such way that we are exclusively desire pleasure. Ethical hedonism, on the other hand, is the view that our fundamental moral obligation is maximize pleasure or happiness. It is the normative claim that we should always act so as to produce our own pleasure. That's what utilitarianism talks about. And hedonism is just another form of utilitarianism. That's why we talk about Epicureanism. It's the same thing. It's the same doctrine, what you call altruistic thought. They say with egoism, okay? We're going to deal with that another future stream on that. I ain't going to delve into that because we're going to reference these videos. Okay. Hedonism usually presupposes an individualist stance and is associated with egoism, but the claim that individuals should always seek their own good in all things. Epicureanism is a more moderate approach, which is still seeks the maximum of happiness, but which defines happiness more as a state of tranquility than pleasure. A similar but more altruistic approach results in utilitarianism, but the position that the moral worth in any action is determined by the contribution to overall utility. Okay. Yeah, overall utility and maximizing happiness or pleasure as common among all people. That's what you hear, the utilitarian mindset right here. And we'll deal with altruistic. We're going to click this link and show you. It's an ethical doctrine. Yes. It has consequentialism in here. That's another future video. I'm going to break that down with egoism. I'm going to have two streams. I'll have one stream into two and then talk about the criticisms of altruism. It's like a form of nihilism a little bit, but essential difference that the utility. Yeah, we're going to get into that in the future. They could be nihilistic terms, but hedonism is utilitarianism. It's nothing nihilistic about it. So they're trying to say so many differences. They got little similarities, but they're not the same. Once you start hearing the words pleasure, good, happiness, and the maximum of pleasure, that's when you start looking at it kind of funny when dudes say things like that. Okay, the paradox of hedonism, also called as the pleasure paradox, points out that pleasure, happiness are strange phenomena that do not obey normal principle, and that they cannot be acquired directly, only indirectly. We often fail to attain pleasures if we deliberately seek them. The term hedonism is derived from the Greek hedon, meaning simply pleasure in common language. Hedonism has come to meaning devotion to the pleasure as a way of life, especially to the pleasures of the sense, and synonymous with sensationalism, libertinism, debauchery, and dissipation, or something like that. Yeah. And that's what you get. And then you got the history of hedonism. Perhaps the earliest examples of hedonism and one example of the extremes was philosophy of Cranesius. Okay. Cranesius and his early Socratic schools founded by Atropicus of Cranea in the 4th century. Yeah, we get into that. Democetrius has propounded very similar philosophy even early, emphasized aside only Socrates' teaching that the happiness is one of the ends of morals action of eudaimon. Okay, I'm gonna look this work up for a minute. Of this word right here, yes. I ain't gonna pronounce that. I ain't gonna try to mess up on this stream. While denying that the virtue has an intrinsic value, they maintained the pleasure was supreme good, especially physical pleasure, with Astropisus considered more intense, preferably to mental or intellectual pleasures, especially intermediate gratification, which he argues should not be denied for the sake of long-term gain. Epicureanism is considered by some to be form of an ancient hedonism, and its founder Epicurus. See, here the word again, Epicurus. Just talked about it, agreeing that the pleasure is the greatest good, but he identified pleasure with tranquility. We just read that. Rather than the bodily gratification, emphasizes the reduction of desires over intermediate acquisitions of the pleasure. Thus, for Epicurus, for the highest pleasure consists of simple, moderate life spent with friends in the philosophical discussion. Epicurus was also careful not to suggest that we should live a selfish life, which impedes others from obtaining their own pleasure. Exactly. During the Middle Ages, of Christian philosophers largely denounced hedonism, which they believe was inconsistent with the Christian emphasis on avoiding sin, doing God's will, developing the Christian virtues of faith, hope, and charity. However, Renaissance philosophers such as Erasmus and Sir Thomas More revived hedonism to some extent, defending it on the religious grounds that pleasure was the fact compatible with God's wishes for humans to be happy. Exactly. Libertinism is philosophy related to hedonism, which funded adherents in the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, particularly in France and Britain, including the second Earl of Rochester, 1647 CE, 1680 CE, the Marquis de Sade, 1740 CE, 1814 CE, and the occultist Aleister Crowley, 1875 CE, and 1947 to his death. Yes. Libertinism ignores or even deliberately spurns religious norms, accepted morals, forms of behavior sanctioned by the larger society, encourages gratification of any sort, especially sexual. Okay, 19th century. So we got this real quick. I'll get this up out of here. Let's charge my phone. Hold on. All right. Okay, 19th century ethical theory of utilitarianism proponent by the British philosophers known as John Stuart Mill. We just talked about earlier strains with the change the construct of utilitarianism. I talked that with Shade and Gabe. Of course, Wacky was on off topic on that one, but he did pretty good. We talked about it. Jeremy Bentham in my recent pre-recordings and one stream of it. Develop and refine hedonism in concluding that we should perform whichever action is best for everyone, the greatest good for the greatest number. That's what utilitarianism means. Bentham believed the value of pleasure could be quantitatively understand. That's quantitative utilitarianism. And I will show you that in a minute, which Mill preferred qualitative utilitarianism, the quality of it. Approach depending on the mixed higher pleasures and lower quality and simply pleasures. Then they got Aran, 1905, 1982. One of the biggest modern proponents of egoism has rejected hedonism as a comprehensive ethical system on the grounds that although pleasure can be purpose of ethics, cannot be the standard or guide to action. As a result, in the intellectual philosophical addiction, contemporary hedonists as represented by any organization known as the Hedonist International strive first foremost for the pleasure did its predecessors, but the addition emphasis on personal freedom. Equality Christian hedonism is a recent controversial Christian doctrine current in some evangelical circles, which holds the humans were created by God with the priority purpose of lavishly enjoying God through knowing, worshiping, and serving Him. So yes, this is the history of hedonism I added. So let's look at the utilitarianism part. We're gonna stop screen sharing. And yeah, let's see who's in the chat. I think I'm getting a clear pic now. I used to consider myself a happy nihilist, but I found myself being an amoral pragmatist. Yep. Problem is, the true altruism doesn't really exist. Exactly. Um, all those nouns denoted feelings, they just trying to divide and make it more extreme than the other because most people don't like the individualist. Exactly. That's what I see in these spaces, and they teach that stuff new. Like, it's crazy. They do this stuff. So if you do the research, nihilists have different versions of it. I haven't done a whole stream on it, but I'll do some more research on it. Nihilism can be tricky. They teach the nihilistic aspect of it, but when I saw that video with BGS with the utilitarian versus nihilism argument, there's two different extreme sides. And what I'm just reading right now, utilitarianism teaches liberalism and the Epicureanism and hedonism. And you hear the key words, maximum happiness. That's one feeling. That's one emotion. But in reality, most people have both emotions, and it's a way of controlling the other. But it's a doctrine, people believe in that stuff and philosophy and stuff. Yeah. Happy nihilist. You mean moral nihilist? Yes. I'll probably do that at the end of the stream. But I'm going to go in. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about with the utilitarianism of, let's see. I got it on here, the Chrome tab. We'll see this right here. And the keywords, what I'm going to show you, what we just read. See the quantitative. That's Jeremy Bentham's side, his argument. He talks about morals and principles and legislation. And then the qualitative is a Rosa work of John Stuart Mill, pleasures and pains. You got to have pain and pleasures. And yeah, but you got people to do that. Okay, let's stop it real quick. Happy nihilist. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Let's see. I'm going to share screen for a minute. Let's see what the wiki says. If it's accurate, I'm going to take it down. You know what? I'm going to do this. Let's share it. Hedonism refers to family theories also, which is common to take pleasures in sexual roles. Psychological, we just read it from the basics. Determined by desires, increase pleasure and to decrease pain. Yeah. Show the thinkers. Schools of hedonism. Okay. Let's see what Wiki got for us, because I don't think they got much. Ethical hedonism. Okay. Look what we got here. We got Epicurus. There you go. Right here. There we go. The father of this shit, man. Let's look at, okay, what news say, happy nihilist. Okay, let's look at happy nihilist. Let's look at happy nihilist. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop this for a minute. I'm going to look at what he meant by happy nihilist. Okay, happy nihilist. Let's look at here for a minute. Oh, getting too ahead of myself. Happy nihilism. Okay, I'm going to screen share this. Hold on. Let's see. What stands out of happy nihilist? Okay. I'm going to screen share it. Chrome real quick. Let's hit this real quick. Yeah, happy nihilist. Meaning is simply a way aggrandize the ego, and the ego can never be truly satisfied. Nihilism tells you that happiness does not come from without. It's a point of happiness coming from within, because anything beyond your skin is devoid of the meaning anyway. So you won't find happiness out there. They got this right here. stand-up philosophers. Let's look at this up. So that's what you already knew. Let's look this up real quick. Here we go. We got a link. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But we did talk about hedonistic ways. Okay. It's something I look up. You don't have to go off your stream topic. No, you good, man. I'm just gonna glance off of it. But I was just talking about hedonism. I'll go back to it. So this is a future topic. I might wanna, I might do something like that. Add to the bookmark. Yeah. Done. We're gonna do this. Happy Nihilist. I won't brief read it. Nihilist just doesn't have a good rep these days. Thanks in part of films like Big Lebowski, in which nihilists were portrayed as hedonistic, tribalistic simpletons who prefer themselves to be believers in nothing. Well, yeah, hedonism can be a form of nihilism, but it's a tricky philosophy that actually is utilitarian to me. It's kind of weird. Nihilists were presented as black-clad German, except neo-goths with low IQs and all that. Okay. I'll do a series on that. But hedonism can be both of the two. But it's kind of strange when they say it's one thing, but actually it's both what I'm reading. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to keep it for a minute. Yeah, man. Yeah. But I'm going to get into this real quick. I'm going to put the share up. Man, appreciate it, man, because I needed that. But yeah, what I just read for the quantitative utilitarianism and all this other stuff. Yeah, this is the stuff we're talking about. But you got one elder talks about utilitarianism, but he don't go into it because it's a tricky subject when you talk about the two. Both of them have extreme sides. Yes, one deals with the negative. Sometimes nihilism can be positive. You talk about happy nihilism, but you also have moral nihilism. It talks about morals. It's different levels of nihilism, man. Like, I won't have to redo it again with the videos I've done in the series. I'm talking about pieces of it. But you do have utilitarianism, the side of equal justice or balance of happiness. That's hard to do. The problem is the minority issue. I have the 13 disadvantages of it. We just covered that. And this is hedonism and all this other stuff. And yeah. And egoism, we're going to do that. That's a future stream. I'll do that probably around nighttime and break it down. And on the Eastern time, it's 6:03 p.m. over here, Eastern time in Georgia. So yeah, hedonism. Keyword is pleasure, good, only good, maximum pleasure, minimize pain. That's what it talks about. And has a little bit of tranquil and happiness. And altruistic is also like a form of nihilism, but a little bit of both of utilitarianism. So yeah, individualist. He just brought this up in the stream. We're going to say it's a moral, political, or social outlook, stresses human independence. Yeah. It talks about hedonism, Greek hedonism, and egoists. Yeah. There's a little nihilism there. So we're going to talk about that in a future stream. But we are sticking with hedonism because they try to say it's not utilitarianism, but actually it is. But here's what it says in utilitarianism. We're going to go right back to it again. Makes a type of hedonism, and is sometimes known as hedonistic utilitarianism. So we're going to keep this in mind. We just read hedonism, right? So same thing. I'm going to look up hedonistic. Utilitarianism. Because this is what they don't teach you in 2.0 sectors. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right. People only go to three extreme of things, and when it doesn't involve all optimism. Exactly. Very good. Yeah, because a lot of people, they take things and they just don't research it, man. Like this stuff in this space, they'll say words and don't really mean, and they say do the research. I mean, if you talk about black pill stuff, it's anything things be black pill nowadays, but they only focus on one thing. But yeah, but when you add other things to it, it is all things do come to die. If you're a nihilist. But if you want to accept others and acceptance, if you want equal justice, what we got now, but if the system goes utilitarian, it has to be total. It can't be rule or active average or negative. You got to have total. Everybody has to be on one accord, but that's not going to happen because human beings showing that they're so destructive in nature. So it's very tricky. You're saving 100 or 1,000 people, but not millions and billions, because that gets very tricky with the philosophy of itself. That's only one belief. So, I'm going to screen share this one. We're going to deal with this hedonistic utilitarianism, because this is very interesting. We found from the doctrine. So what we got here is a theory assumes that rightness action depends on the entire pleasure, and it tends to pleasure amount of pain it tends to pretend. Bentham's utilitarianism is hedonistic a little bit, although he describes good but not only as pleasure, but also as happiness, benefit, advantage. He treats the concept as more or less synonymous and seems to think of them as the reduce of pleasure. John Stuart Mill's utilitarianism, also describes as hedonistic, differs importantly from Bentham's and take of some pleasure to be higher than other ones. And yeah, it's the same argument, quantitative and qualitative argument. So yeah, that's just a piece of it. So I just looked it up. It's not that much to say. Are they the same? Holds the physical pleasure for self is only a good thing, but the more also always better. But utilitarianism holds the action produce the most utility. It's the only good thing. Utility may be defined against amount of pleasure, the greatest number of people, not just oneself. See, that's a little difference, but but they're pretty much the same to me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see who's gonna come through. So yeah. I'm gonna put something in the chat. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. N 5 6 3 in the chat. Let's pin this up. Pin the message. And if anyone wants to come up and refute what I gotta say, I'm all ears. Yeah, I posted a link if anyone comes up, because I'm gonna look at this a little bit. Our Stoics are hedonistic. Let's look at the questionnaires. Pursuit of devotion to pleasure, especially the pleasure in the sense and example. Hedonism is an ethical theory such as the pursuit of pleasure should be ultimate goal. An example, hedonism is constant quest for pleasure and satisfaction. So basically, yeah, it's telling you a few things. And let's look at Stoic. I'll look at Stoicism in the future. And nihilism. I'm talking about everything, and egoism on. probably put those streams in the future. I don't know what. It'll probably be this month or the end of the month. I'm not sure, but I want to piece them together. On the surface, Stoicism is the complete opposite of hedonism. Okay. But the idea of hedonism is that the pleasure is the highest goal and value of life. On the surface, Stoicism is the complete opposite of hedonism. Interesting. The idea behind hedonism is that the pleasure is the highest goal and value of life. That sounds like utilitarianism to me, folks. They're two different ideologies. Some people think they're the same as nihilism, but nah, it's got too much utilitarian stuff to it. Because when you mention utilitarianism and hedonistic utilitarianism, you know it's the same thing. So they try to say this is nihilist. I don't see it. It's kind of like a mix between the two, but it has more of a utilitarian thought. See, there he goes again. Utilitarianism and is Epicurus a hedonist? See, it's in the same family. It's both a moralist thing, right or wrong, right to do wrongs. It constructs. You also have different things going. So yeah, man, like I got the stream to see who's up here, but you know. My stoicism book came in about 4 days ago. That's great, man. Yeah. I might have to get a book on that and get into it. I mean, you can research some of this stuff online, but it's always good for a book so I can read it. Oh man, they got all these questionnaires, man. Yeah, I'm gonna stop screen share for a minute because I'm gonna do something real quick. Hit avatar a little minute. Yeah, done. Yeah, man. I mean, I got it pinned if y'all want to come in. But, you know, I'm just going to look at for something for a minute. Yeah, because you got a lot of dudes talking about this stuff. That's in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I'm going to post this. Epicureanism of Blackpill talk. Yeah, man. We just got into hedonism and Epicureanism. Yeah, Epicureanism is a strong word, man. I brought it up in a live stream with Artie Itmores when they did the DMX thing. So, yeah, Epicurus, man, he's something else. He's something else. Because you got dudes believing in stuff. And that's the only thing. But, you know, I'll see if who comes up. If not, it may be an hour stream. So I might do an hour or two. See how long this goes. Because, you know, it's only 50 minutes. I can go longer. Yeah. Because you got a lot of dudes. I mean, everybody's streaming right now. This is something that I wanted to do. So, yeah, man. Yeah. I might do Zoom. I don't know. Yeah. Who's streaming now? Guess it's the weekend. Everybody's going longer today. Probably talking about that silly politics over in Platinums. Shit. All right. I'm going to screen share this immediately. Yes, I love to feel the real book pages felt with my fingers. Yeah, I'm same here, man. I still read some books every now and then instead of on a phone or a computer, and it's nothing like it. Them days is gone. But I still read them time to time. I still read the newspaper every once in a while. I pick up things where I get my hands on. It keeps you sharp and better not lose your mind. So yeah, man. I was supposed to stream earlier this morning on knowledge, and it's the first, but I woke up too late. Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow, so I'll be chilling. Probably do a day stream for my birthday, so I ain't gonna do much. Probably be outside. I might do that. I don't know when I'm gonna set that up. But yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I'm just gonna search around, play with it. Anybody wants to come up? Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Your boy right here. Same thing. That's what the whole topic's about. I done broke it down with the we went to hedonistic a little bit. The individualists, we already know the philosophy is pleasure and good and maximize. So we're gonna dump Epicureanism in the way. So I'm reading it from the philosophy thing. We just read and aestheticism and all that. So I'm good, man. If anybody wants to hop on, I got time. Because, I can end the stream in a couple more minutes or about 40 minutes. I got time. If y'all want to talk about this discussion, I mean, this is an interesting topic that I've gathered information, a little knowledge. Because I think PK, if you see these streams, I will give him information on that instead of doing pre-records. It's so easy, I'm learning to find that out now. Me self-streaming outside, not using StreamYards, that's even better. I started out like that, and it's pretty good because it gets a feel of talking people on the panel instead of going panel to panel. Others get used to the drama and stuff I'm trying to steer away from, but drama always finds me, So, yeah. Art did a 2-hour stream. Oh, he ain't doing much. So we good, man. Talking about me, man. All right. If I had a book on Epicureanism, man, I'd be dangerous as a motherfucker, man. Ain't that much. I'm gonna research some more. And not Stoicism. And they said modern Epicureanism. Shit. Ain't nothing modern today. Well, they talk about utilitarianism and all these things, but yeah, get into it. Ancient Greek stuff. Whew. I'm gonna look at my streams and play it a few. Stop it. Mine's the fourth, still contemplating. Yeah. I'm trying to get mine. Another age, another game. Let's look at my video real quick. No audio. Oh, what you talking about? Let's go. Let's go for a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna stream. Oh. That's me doing that. Okay, let's look at the latest video, and I'm gonna skim through this. All right, change of construct, whole topic. I did a whole stream on it. Jig. Let's do this for a minute. Let's get. Yeah, I did a whole stream on it, and I'm gonna get the conversation going. Let's go right here. So yeah, get this out the way, and I got some more. So yeah, I'm gonna start the screen share, and anybody wants to pull up, you can have something on the topic, you know. Team advantages up. So you know, screen share for a minute. Okay. Yeah. This up here. Yeah. All right. What's going on?
Yeah, there you go. What's going on, man? I want to see, do you think, honestly, the guys in this space are actually practicing utilitarianism by doing what they're doing as far as the community right now?
That's a great question. I don't think they are. I just made a live stream about nihilism. I saw DS1's video about the intellectual nihilism. That was my response to his video, and he had some good points. But you got a lot of dudes running around and have this defeatist mentality. But when I saw BGS's previous Black Pill videos about these two ideologies, I've made recent videos on, they become like a hot What's going on? Oh, I hear some static. Oh God, let's skim through that.
Business, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I'm going to go back and listen to some majority if I can. He
Okay.
hasn't made it. He hasn't made it to the BGS status, man. Shame, you know.
She had static.
I want to kind of put that on the man in his face.
He had static right there. Okay.
Yeah, as far as the topic, looking at,
I don't know what happened there.
I want to kind of put that on the man in his face to kind of, say that hopefully they're trying to do something like that in order for the greater good of the community. Because I mean, when it comes down to it, I don't see these like stream after stream, you know. And shout out to what Roger had his panel today, man. It was a great discussion. I mean, actually good discussion, and I was happy that he actually kept it that long. I had to take care of some business, man. I'm like, I can only be on for so long, but man, I'm like, it took down a lot of stuff, I mean, life, life off of YouTube still exists, so I had to go take care of a lot of business, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go back and listen to some majority if I can. He hasn't made it. He hasn't made it to the BGS status, man. I remember I go a whole 8 hours straight just listening to BGS.
Yeah. He's got those on straight. Yeah, he cuts back on it.
Yeah, I mean, even the series in which you talking about the utilitarianism, I've actually went back and like listened to the whole live, stop, sometime rewind, But since he's taken down most of his stuff, it kind of put a lot of people in limbo to where we have to go off the premise of what we were looking at or dealing with before that. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was hoping to the extent that that's a that's the only thing I can come up with a lot of guys in the stream. I mean, in this space, because man, it's like you know when you speak on the nihilism too. I mean, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, it's a destructive nature. I just noticed that from DS1, and he broke it down intellectual nihilism. And it's a shame, but a lot of brothers get divided over it.
Yeah,
I had to cut some people off like recent months that had that mentality. So
hey, you just uh, dealing with one earlier with ism.
yeah, and it's just it's normal though. But I'm learning. Here go that static again. Or was it me?
Because that's what I was doing earlier when I was listening to you. I pulled up the internet, and that's how I'm able to pull up two channels at one time, and
Uh huh.
talk and comment and stuff like that. I got that note.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got the Stylo Plus 6, the LG. That's the newest one they had. I had that for Christmas last year as a gift. So
yeah,
yeah, I have StreamYards on that one.
yeah,
It's excellent. I just have a small headset, and I did a live stream on the Aaron Fountain. I did that with that, and it's actually better than
yeah,
the Chromebook. Yeah.
yeah. Because my setup, I actually showed it on my page. I got the two monitors with the Acer with the i5 processor,
Hmm.
and I actually was about to buy my camera cord today, but I'm like, I rarely show my face. I mean, I show my face, but I just rarely go live with my video showing, you know, every
Hmm.
for the most part. But the audio on my phone is good because I got the Blue Parrot Bluetooth that
Hmm.
I use is pretty good. And then dealing with my I think I got an Electron microphone. I got a Samsung microphone. I actually gave that to Kane. He's dealing with that mic because I got I bought probably like 6, 7 mics I don't even use. I'm actually gonna give a couple of them out as a giveaway on my channel
Okay.
because I got mics I don't even use. I got old headsets, but mainly it's giving a better quality. And I got microphones that I bought like in a I got a microphone with a stand just because I wanted to buy the boom arm. I went to this place out of Norcross. It's like a what they call like an Amazon pallet shop
Hmm.
where they
Yeah.
buy the pallets. Yeah, so I bought it's like $15. I bought a microphone. It's a USB microphone with a boom arm.
Hmm.
15 bucks. Yeah, but yeah, going back to the topic, man. Like I said, it's like a lot of guys they listen to what we're talking about in this space and they kind of relate it, but at the same time they still want to be that involved circle to where it's like what's it Rael always talk about on the narcissistic side of things.
Yeah.
They come from that kind of complex to where you
Yeah.
know
I think I had a lady named Teresa in the chat in my last stream I just did. She mentioned something about narcissism connected to nihilism. Yeah, it has its traits, but you lean towards nihilism at the end. So
yeah,
it's like a defeatist mentality, and it's like the end. It's like the black pill, like we just said. Like if you can't accept it, it just means to destroy. You have to be that dude. If you're that dude like the Joker, in the burning building, he said that in a recent stream. You have to be that person, and a lot of people ain't built like that. When all stuff dies, that's just the way it goes. But the utilitarian side of it, what he mentioned, Batman, it means to construct. You construct your. It's like you're saying outrage, like a cop on a beat. You're trying to right wrongs that you're trying to fix. It's basically it's a philosophy like that. It teaches you right and wrong, but it has a constructive mindset. You know, you have to construct life what it is. You have to build morals from the ground up. So it has a moralistic side of it. It's got different versions of it. But you know, most people want the quantity, but they don't want the quality of it. That's the hard part. Then you start getting talking about the total utilitarianism, and just like I see here with these scholars, people have a hard time. But if you can read this from the corporate financierinstitute.com, I already got it. So yeah, you know, I made videos on it.
Yeah. And the crazy part about that, I mean, if you look at it about being a utilitarianism, I mean, that's the same aspect of guys who, I mean, to me, in my opinion, SYSB, M, for those guys that do that, which they took it out of context. To me, to save yourself is to kind of, an aspect. I mean, this whole thing of going to overseas and dealing with the women, like I said, the utilitarianism, we need to talk time right now. But the
Oh,
thing is,
utilitarianism. Yes,
yeah,
utilitarianism. Yes, a mouthful. I know.
yeah, but the utilitarianism, I just said it earlier, but I'm getting tongue tied right now. But basically, the situation where they're supposed to save themselves, it comes from the standpoint to where it's just that, you deal with yourself in the aspect of, for the greater good, not for you to go deal with women from overseas. They a lot of guys are giving SYSB a bad name, and that's what those guys are doing. They're actually kind of instead of letting everything burn, they're trying to find a better way to make things work for themselves. That's the whole purpose, which that's what it is. But guys are giving the name of SYSB just to go overseas and mess with a chick over there. I'm like, you putting smut on a great concept that kind of vets men to explore options,
Hmm.
you know. And I don't think the option of going overseas to deal with the women is an option. Well, I could say it's an option, but the point of it is it's not the only thing you're supposed to be doing with SYSB. You're saving yourself. You're kind of not getting caught, as the people say, with your hand in the cookie jar and stuff. You're not trying to take the what is it? The not narrow path, but the path less traveled. Say that.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I
Basically,
mean,
yeah. Basically, the whole concept is to have a new life or a family, but 95% of the time, it's for you. You know, to have a good concept. But I never kind of support their eugenics thing. But what hurts them is it's the passport bros. It's separate, but the concept of it is just like you have that leader. Don't even support the manosphere like that. I think Kuda told me about. Yeah, he's probably from mainstream manosphere. We don't know his agenda, but his boys is making it look like a bad name. So I can't help him because, like he said, Sting God on his channel. They don't
yeah,
teach you that. They don't teach you that if you get locked up by these foreigners that are cops, they can lock you up. So you know they have to be very careful with that. You know that they're not teaching brothers that. So.
yeah. And then the bad part is, I heard a guy in the manager. He said he went over there. He said it wasn't what he thought. See, the whole
Mm,
aspect of they going over there, they thinking that the women are just over there throwing themselves. And even if you go in certain parts of the town where you get certain women, you run the risk of getting robbed. You know, even if you scrap up, still it's so many variables to play in there because just like Charles Partner said, that he should be able to go to every city, every state in the United States and have a guy that's within the manosphere that can, kind of connect with him and work with him and do things. It's like, you're the ambassador for the manosphere within this area. And that's not a structure that's been, kind of implemented. because we got so much infighting. That's why we'll never have a manosphere. As far as the utilitarianism, yeah, as far as that, you know, what are we gonna do for the greater good within its own space? Because it's so much infighting with guys. I mean, now this situation with with them two guys, Ism and Fantastic. I mean, look at them. One wants to make a name for itself. The other one just, it's an aspect of what's to be done of the situation. You know, and let's say we do have a manosphere meetup. You got guys that talked about somebody 8 years ago and forgot about it. Now you
Hmm.
face to face with this guy. It's like, how can you approach? You know?
Yeah, but the game versus non-game, it actually started by the people that's anti that anyway. But it's really you're igniting the so-called gender war that's already over online. But in the real world, it's a problem, but it's fading away soon. They only got a couple of years left until we get another person in office. But when you got guys that's anti that, they actually destroy the space. But DS1 broke it down. You have a lot of what do you say? A lot of incels the whole time. And the reason why Angry Man gave up on it, they didn't want to be checked by Angry Man and his mercenaries, and he broke that down. I was like, wow, I did not know that. And that's what they wanted. That's why you got guys like MOTs, the Fantastic, I give them nicknames. I call one Mr. TO, and I call the other guy Mr. Vietnam and Blank Changer. And yeah, it's had a static on that. Hold on. The offer. But they will get exposed though. People will get exposed. That's why I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was me. I had that static. Videos, and I just yeah, that was me. Learned about this philosophy. I'm like, man, you got some cultures practice it, but the total of utilitarianism is a lot harder because the minority top group runs the world. Like I don't want to say the Jesuits and things or the other people. Yeah, I had some static. With the J, but they work together as a collective. But they're dangerous. You have to. I sounded pretty good, but I had some static. I've noticed in certain parts of the minutes. Yeah, the headset. I'm gonna get a better headset in the future. Yeah, I don't have to sit still. That's probably what it was. It ain't StreamYards, it's the headset that I have. I have to sit still in a certain position. Yeah, but I'm learning about live streaming. But I'm gonna play this part where the guest comes on. I want to see what gave and see how the conversation flow. The Masonic world, they all represent the 1%. But that shows you what type of world it is. But and you look at the manosphere has been hijacked. So basically, yeah, you can say incels, things like that, what DS1 was saying, but it's more to it. It's basically money at this point. Everybody's chasing that bad dollar. So, we'll see what this election and in the future, what these 4 years is going to be like. It's going to be rocky and interesting. I'm ready for this diesel culture and see what they got to offer. But they will get exposed though. People will get exposed out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm on a headset, babe. Oh, it's back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm on what you call it, my Chromebook, but it's all right. But on YouTube, it sounds all right. Okay. Private chat.
I'm
You
about to,
about to you about to drop off?
yeah, I'm about to drop off.
All right. Okay. Nice talking to you, man. Like it's good that you came up.
Yeah, man, I'm always moving into space, man. Like I said,
You
you
everywhere.
guys, hey, just like you, go professor, man. A lot of guys who come with knowledge, like I told Go Professor, I was like, you're almost going to be shamed in this kind of realm because no one wants to deal with the issue at hand, in which you have to put thought into the process of what you're thinking about and what you're talking about when you come to certain spaces. The guys want to hear the funny, the laughing, the jokes. I'm like, but what about the realness? Like, what about that? A lot of guys are not coming over here to kind of get some kind of intellect and learn and kind of know what's going on within the space, and have some type of knowledge. So I always look at channels like this and other channels more food for thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried, man. I've been doing it for like almost a decade, even before when I started in these spaces. But you have to be different, man. You can't be talking about gender war stuff, gender politics. That really destroys men, especially when it's around involved around money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, all right, man. I'll holler at
All right. All right, man.
you.
Peace.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Basically, what he just said, you see in the spaces. Um, I just do this utilitarian. Yeah, that's the static. Okay. I need to work on that. Yeah, I might have to use one of those small headsets. This one's all right. I'm gonna use it for the phone or something. Since the 1789 text, indoctrinating principles of morals and their increased importance. He argued that the higher pleasures could only be recognized by those who left experience. Yeah, criticism of utilitarianism, humans' happiness is impossible to quantify. And number two, the aggregate measures of the happiness. That's it. But I used it before. Might use the small ones next time. I'm gonna try to use the phone next time. But I did it for this topic right here. I might give me a better headset. Ooh, sound like a monster right there. When it's static, I sound like a monster. Oh my god. I see what Kuda was talking about. Yeah, a lot of blind spots in this space because they do workarounds when it comes to solutions. Exactly. You just said it. You just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, if y'all wanted to join, there's a link in the chat. So I'm seeing what y'all talking about. Yeah, but this is basically I just want to put something out here. That's static, man. Oh my lord, when did he come up? Okay, let's go like this. Say like almost. Okay. Okay, let's come up.
Hey, what's up, man?
It's gone.
Oh, now it's better. Whatever you did, just changed it. I don't
No,
know.
I had to sit still. You know how it is. It's string
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, yeah. I used to read a bit about utilitarianism. Have you heard of man? It had to be maybe 9, 10, maybe 11 years ago.
Mhm.
Harvard did a whole YouTube series on it, and it's a series called Justice, and
Mhm.
it's super duper dynamic how this professor goes through it. Let me throw the link in the back chat. That's the title, but let me get the link actually. Copy link address. It's really, man, and it kind of gets into. Did you go over that whole concept of what happens? So, say for instance, there's two people on a train track, and the
Mhm.
train is coming, and it's one person that if you drop them, then you'll save the two people, and then it's like, do you consider that murder, or do you consider that? Have you heard of that
Yeah,
scenario before?
yeah. I
Okay,
heard plenty of scenarios, and I
yeah,
think my first pre-record videos, I talked about the pros and cons of
okay.
utilitarianism, and it's 13 disadvantaged by this Texas guy in the BA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I might have to see a screen share. Hold on. I think I got it. Hold
So, what's your take on that, though? So, what is it like? What did you think? Like,
on.
so are you killing? Are you murdering? Or is it right to sacrifice one for the majority?
I mean, I agree with the concept, but the difficult part is the minority top people that runs the planet. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a total basically utilitarian mindset on that. Most people we already got rule and act
Yeah.
as a concept in America. So the military basically we just said it's in the military. When you go
Okay.
outside of the military, that's when it gets hard. Everybody's got different philosophies. So.
Yeah. Because the utilitarian perspective from the military is that one for all, right? You just right, or the
Mhm.
majority. like it's strict, right? In the military, is that the stance? I haven't read up on
Yes.
it in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the 13 disadvantages. And then if you can read it from greengarage blog.org.
Okay.
And the guy, he's got a video. He's out of Texas and Austin.
Oh,
It
cool.
says now is the time for utilitarianism. I believe it's with Richard, something like that. You can find it on
Mm-hmm.
TED Talks and all that. Yeah, and that's one of my first pre-records of videos of it. And I got the idea from BGS's Black Pill video with Batman and Owlman, how I used the concept of the two.
Okay.
And he said Owlman's like more of a nihilist. And I did that later when I was studying utilitarianism. I said, well, a nihilist is destructive. He has a defeatist mentality. But basically, a nihilist, they got so many terms for it, like a moral nihilist. I went in depth into that,
Mm.
and I think I did a few streams on that. But this one particular, I want to point out, it's rarely used in this space. I'm just going to bring it out. And PK Angle asked me about it on Art of Hit More Strength, and I told him what it was. It's a form of consequentialism. It's basically a amoralistic like doctrine, but it does preach morality a little bit, right and wrong.
Mm.
It's subjective, it's relative, but it comes from Epicureanism. I will make a stream on that, Black
Okay.
Pill Talk, on May 1st, and I'll go in depth on Epicureanism in connection with utilitarianism with the philosophy aspect of it. It has some connection to hedonistic utilitarianism. So yeah, it's a big philosophy. It's been around for
Mm.
for different decades or
Yeah.
eras of like the 1800s, like the 18 like 3 centuries probably.
Yeah.
And
Familiar.
the concept is not new, man. It goes back to Epicurus, the Greek philosopher. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So Brandon
What do you think is the
Miller,
strongest argument for it? Like what is the I guess what is the argument that you greatest relate to that you're like, okay, this is where I take my stance based or for or against based upon this particular argument, or
my
do you make
my
such a strong delineation? Mm-hmm.
my strongest argument would be uh, the other forms of utilitarians, like the rule and the act. I mean, total is probably the best if things do collapse. But the problem is, the majority of people can't come together because you're dealing with a minority group is for themselves. So it's an individual right. So I understand
Okay.
that aspect. So it has its weakness. So I had to learn that. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the strongest ideology connected to utilitarianism is nihilism. That's the argument that people's having online away from this space. So if you talk to
Yeah.
people that deals with esoteric knowledge, they'll tell you that. Like Epicureanism versus Stoicism is the same argument. You can pick those two apart. So I think I did
Mm-hmm.
videos on that too, live streams on that as well. Yeah, I got this from the author named Brandon Miller. Has a BA from University of Texas Austin. He posts this up here, and then this guy named Richard in the bill he put in there. So yeah, it's all on YouTube. They
Yeah.
talked about this like 4 or 5 years ago. I've seen it. I haven't seen the old
Sure.
ones. It's just a
Yeah, I
basic
used to read a bit
concept.
about it. I used to read a bit on it some years back. I always try to like listen to what they say, right? Listen to the ideas and the concepts, the right where they came from. But then I always try to look at some practicality, right? What can I walk away with that I
Mhm.
can actually apply to my life? Because otherwise, a lot of it is just theory and ideas and thoughts that are just put out there, explaining the concept. But I'm like, what is the application here for me? Right? Do you see any of that in or have have you seen some of that application in your every so like right so you walking down the street, right, and I don't know, Keisha starting to fight with with Pookie,
Yeah,
right, and it's like, do you jump in, right, or what theory kind of allows you to act on some of those ideas? Like, do you jump in and maybe it's a baby, by the way, right? It's a baby right on the side,
yeah,
or
yeah.
that's kind of
I
that's kind of where I try to take and bridge those ideas and
yeah.
concepts.
Yeah, I try to help people that's like the cop on the beat. I think BGS mentioned it. That's like a cop on the beat example. And a
Okay.
person trying to say
Yeah.
something like kind of like a Batman approach. But
Yeah.
sometimes people gonna have their problems. Like they gonna be negative, and I learned, can you accept it for what it is?
Yeah.
And that's the black pill side of it, and it's deep. And if you're a nihilist, they don't care; they just do it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't matter what the result, what the
yeah,
outcome is.
yeah.
Okay.
My outcome utilitarianism is simple. Like there's,
Hmm.
you got some equal justice. Sometimes we get our hands dirty if it's necessary. They want us to
Yeah.
kill. I'm the same way, and I hate to say it, my zodiac makes sense. I'm so possessive, and we construct everything what we do. Like we like to build.
Mm.
You put me something in my hand, I'm gonna do something with it. And
Okay.
that's how I worked. And even when I was a barista serving customers, I can't please everyone. Peace, I realized that. It took me 2 years to
Yeah,
understand that. It took me two
that's
years
a
to
huge.
understand that. Yeah. And I'm in
Yeah.
my early 30s, and I can tell people that, like in these spaces, I've seen how the master don't went left field and don't care.
Yeah.
It's a personal choice. So yeah, you have choice. That's why me and MOT fell out, because we can't be all conservative. You got one person disagreeing with you, and they ain't even
Nah,
unified, and that
y'all just
shows
fell
you.
out because y'all just feel like because he's crazy. Like he's just a
Yeah,
crazy person. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I
But
let you get it.
it's just like, I get his concept, but he overdoes it. I've seen it before, and it never
Oh
worked.
yeah.
Yeah, and same
I mean,
with
but how do you dominate and call like create this world where you're the leader? Like I just don't get it. It's literally like right some type of villain character that he assumes
yeah,
and tries to like rule with an iron fist by dropping people off panels and blocking people. Like
yeah.
that's his method of ruling, or like
I
just
I
literally
laugh.
will go and
Mhm.
interact with people, and if he doesn't agree, he'll throw a pan.
Well, no, it's, I can debate on that, but we'll see. Some people say it's a misconception, but it's commonly in the term nihilist. Um, that's a tricky question, because a lot of people said the same thing. And, nihilism, I may have to do a piece because there's so many versions of it. I mean, yes, it has a destructive nature, but it sounds cool at first in the beginning. But it's a great subject to get into. I'm gonna make that a future stream or something like that. But I ain't done more research on it. So yeah, I'm gonna probably play this with Gabe and show you examples how the stream was. It's a little static, but I'm gonna use better headphones the next time. I might use the smaller ones.
Tantrum and then start his
Yeah.
own shit. Like what is that? Like where are you? Where's the productivity there? Where's the and then you kind of get your own little cronies together. And this is part of like it's right. It's not all trolling with me. It's that
Hmm.
I really don't like the character of certain people on YouTube. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Same
Like a
here.
Mike V, like a MOT, like a Fantastic. Like I just don't like the character that they portray. So I mess with them. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
the best thing to do all the time, but it's really not all just like, oh, I'll just have fun. It's like no, y'all whack people to me. And yeah, whack people are targets for me. You know, I mean, hey, that's just how I
Yeah.
got I get off. But yeah, so kind of this whole idea, like you were saying, you've seen some of that implementation by the MOT character that we see for some of
Yeah.
these ideas. Hmm.
And ever since the summer, I subscribed to him. He was interesting, and he talks about this progressive talk and conservative
Yeah,
talk. But what I've learned from him is he tries so hard. Like, dude, I was that dude once when I was a lot younger, and I realized, how can you? And I'll say it like this: how can a person want a niggerless society but do the most nigger shit? And when Kuda said that
yeah,
to him, he was in dead silent on that zero string. That just shows you right there is his action. He didn't say nothing. And
yeah.
Complex was there, looked like a fool, and they didn't say nothing. They was dead quiet.
Nothing.
And Kuda just
They
said
just
that.
let him. They let him go. They all say all types of crazy stuff to each other. Like I don't know if you ever heard these Aegon streams.
Yeah,
They
yeah, they
say
said,
all
yeah.
types. Man, I remember the
I've been in
time when
those
Fantastic.
streams. Yeah,
Man, I
I
remember when
see.
Fantastic went off on Complex and was saying stuff about his dead wife, and like it's just
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. But
But then
see,
they pushed that under the rug like it didn't happen.
and I
It's
always
just super
remind him. I
weird.
said, "Where I come from, you'd have got killed
Yeah,
for that, man." I
facts,
mean, I
facts.
mean, that's just the way it is. That's why I be on Fantastic's head a lot. But see, that
Same.
white boy incident hurt the
Hmm.
brain trust. And I tell you, the only person who was mad was Jay Shine, and he was hurt by that. And that's why
Yeah,
he tries to tell him, look, he's hurting our brand over here. That's why the
Yeah.
brain trust ain't going nowhere. And I
Oh,
laugh
it's
because
defunct, right? It's
yeah,
defunct. Like now,
yeah,
Mike V and Renaissance Man, they have a whole different channel. And Complex is just running the channel down with weed and
yeah,
sex talking. But hey,
yeah, the
so you go ahead.
secular stuff. I might
Yeah,
have to
man.
I might have to break down a stream on that in the future about
Yeah,
sapiosexualism. Probably do some more research. Yes, unisex, but here's the thing: I want to do some studies. What's the difference between a male sapio and a female? Because this is kind of crazy. Because people gonna like who they like, but there is a
yeah,
hybristophilia versions of the two. But if you want something with hybristophilia, like Kuda said, yeah, you want somebody that's with it. You don't want
yeah,
nobody that's not with it because you don't know if they'll change at the end. That's how
yeah,
marriage is.
man. Yeah, and you just kind of, and I think that the whole, I think one thing you said that was really important earlier is that you just can't satisfy everybody. So you really just have to make choices that are best for yourself and just go with that, no matter what a lot of other people think, right? Because I think that in the mental sphere, a lot of the ideas that you need to, like, they will literally question you until they find something that they don't disagree, that they don't agree with, and then they'll like poke at that as if you
Mm-hmm.
need to as if that thing is the standard or the thing that crushes you in their eyes. It's just so weird where it's like this group think type of mentality. But I don't want to like drift too far away from your topic though about utilitarianism.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
it's
no,
interesting.
it's on point, and I decided to make it, man. Like
Yeah,
and it's just what I see from this space, and then I use this concept as an example. Like, how can we
yeah,
have a society like that worldwide? And it makes me wonder, And I'm glad I had to cut them off because I need some new, fresh subscription. That's all it did. It just helped me
yeah,
out. But then siding with Kuda, technically not side. I just like his content. He's more diverse and learn
yeah.
about his history of YouTube, and he's fair.
Yeah, I just
And
think he's a cool person, man. I
yeah,
don't agree with everything he says. I don't
yeah,
agree with all
sometimes
this stuff, but
I don't
I don't
agree all
whatever.
the stuff about how it started, but I understand where he's coming from.
But it's okay because we don't have to agree. Like we don't have to.
Yeah, we
Like,
can
we can
agree to
disagree and
disagree
be
as
cool.
men.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just like the
Yeah.
guy said in the barbershop years ago. He said,
Yeah.
my father said it best. He said, you can disagree to disagree as men as well
Yeah.
at the same time.
Right. And I think that when you disagree and still have respect, that's where that relationships comes from. Because the stuff that you say, like as it concerns like men who are higher earning, they're pretty much licks for women who I don't know have bad intention. I wouldn't say that because I think that there needed to be some skills, some tact, some know how, some knowledge to be able to earn. Where I don't think you're as vulnerable as a lot of what Kuda and some other dudes say that you are. Like I think that you you develop things to be able to sniff out the the evil or the bad in women. Because I knew that, right? Because I could tell at times when I meet a woman before I was married, for sure.
Hmm.
When I met a woman, she started asking questions and trying to see where I'm at. I could tell what her intentions were. It wasn't always the best, but it doesn't I didn't consider myself a lick because I knew what I wanted, and she wasn't gonna like no woman was about to suggest me into something that puts me at a disadvantage. So I disagree with that, but it's cool. Like it's cool if he thinks that. Like, but it's cool. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
mad at him for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you went in on Beach, man, I was the last person I thought
Oh
y'all was gonna
man,
be. Yeah,
that was just fun, man.
that was
I
fun
was
too. Yeah, but she's all right with me.
it's
I mean,
cool.
it's
It's
fun. It's
cool,
cool.
man. Like, yeah, it's just like you could do that. Like, you could go in. I'm like, why you twerking in the front? Like just like I don't understand why. I don't understand why they who made the standard that everything in this space had to be so serious.
Yeah,
Like we be joking all the time,
yeah,
all the time. So it's cool. But then if you joke, it's a troll and you're not here for
yeah,
productivity. How could you be on these panels or in chat rooms being a troll and be productive and be a quality man? I'm like, you
yeah.
doing a
Doing
lot
too
of
much.
psychoanalysis for some jokes, like,
Yeah. A
and
lot
that
of
makes
people
me
just
yeah,
don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't have thick skin. They don't have
nah,
composure. And the
yeah,
sad part is, when I troll, it's soft troll. I just name flip the stuff they say, and it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
all
I
that.
just poke fun of them and tell them what they're wrong at, and I just sit back and let them hurt themselves at
Yeah,
the end. But that's what you do. I've been doing that for like years when I was younger, but I grew
yeah,
out of that
man.
and started laughing.
You know how it was, like when you were growing up, it was always like you were always joke with each other as kids, even as
Yeah.
adults, man. I remember even in college, man, sometimes we would be in like the engineering lab, sitting at our desk and kind of be joking on each other, like I don't know, just like little nerdy calculus jokes or like
Hmm.
like like somebody in here about to change their major to business, like because people wasn't getting the labs and whatever. So we would be
Yeah.
joking like that. The people would crack back at you. It's like, oh, yo, what'd you get on that last exam? Oh, all right. All right. I see. So, it'd be like a go back and forth. And that's what that thick skin thing that you were talking about. But
Yeah.
here, it's not that. It's not that. It's like, it's clicky. It's clicky at best.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, man, I just, again, I'm in front of computers normally for work. So to click on a
Yeah.
YouTube link is like nothing. It's like click,
Yeah.
keep working, click, keep working type of thing.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, man, I just appreciate just real dudes. Yourself, Kuda, O'Shea. Like me and O'Shea have an offline relationship. Like we talk all the
Okay.
time. Yeah, man. That's why he always puts stuff up above me because we friends are like, man, don't be sharing that, man. It's all good. He's like, nah,
Yeah.
man, I gotta big up the brothers and everything. And,
Yeah.
you know,
When he first came on the scene, I wasn't too fond of him, but more I
yeah,
realized about him, he's all right with me because I'm more
yeah,
neutral
man,
with him. But the good thing is, what I can say is, I give him the nickname Osei. When he be slaying these niggas, man, I be laughing.
man.
I
It's
be laughing.
hilarious,
It's hilarious. I mean, he has a right to say that,
and
and
he
he got
doesn't
this.
take it serious, slow. Like
No,
he
he
does
don't.
not
He
take
just
it.
jokes with it. Yeah,
Right.
I'm okay with him. And
Yeah.
same with Angry Man. See, I have no issues with him. I say, yeah,
Hmm.
you created 2.0 space, but I give him this.
Right.
He's doing something right to
Yeah.
step outside of himself, and we had a
Yeah.
good conversation. Me and Ramil. Ramil's all right, and they
Man,
play up to
Ramil the
Ramil.
homie. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramil. They
Yeah.
will never dare say nothing to Ramil. They play up to him. His streams was crazy today. I was in his live
Oh,
stream, and they was
yeah.
talking about this hidden colors thing. I said, yeah, they crazy. I don't care
I
for
saw a
color.
little bit of it and I
Yeah,
just dipped. I was like, all right, yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah,
ain't my cup of tea.
yeah,
And when they get be getting deep on the porn stuff or deep on the
yeah.
Afrocentric stuff, I'm like,
Yeah.
So once they talk about some business or just some arguments, I'm like, oh, let's see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But the
Yeah.
but the but the DS1, he shot me out with the cap in his life. He mentioned me in the video. I
Oh,
said,
really?
all right, man. And he mentioned Jessica. He said, say what I did. I said the big homie.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
She is. She that
yeah,
big homie. It's funny.
yeah.
It's funny. But
What's going on, new?
I think this morning they had made a stream about you. Did my man's
Yeah.
make something about you? What's
Who's
his
that?
name? Fantastic. I thought he was going in on y'all this morning or something like that.
I didn't pay attention. I don't even watch dude. I don't care. He got
It
me
was
blocked. So
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I woke up. I'm like, yo, this is wild. This is wild.
Oh, Mr. Fitnall.
you know.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. I ain't gonna watch that garbage. He'll probably take it down.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't
But yeah,
studying it.
that Harvard series is really dope. That one
Yeah.
about the Justice series is really dope.
Hmm.
It pretty much goes over everything that you were saying that you were talking about. So
Yeah.
it might be something
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah. I just had to throw some up here. Like, it's a
Hmm.
topic. They're talking about Sarah. Yeah, yeah, they talk about me wacky. Yeah, let's go on, man. Yeah, I laugh at him, man. I don't care. He's a clown, man. Like, I don't pay attention to nonsense, man. It's just I laugh at these dudes. They take this stuff way too serious. All it is
Yeah.
you're letting these females in these spaces clown you like that, like ES1 said. And the way he said in his latest video, say cap in his life, I hollered. He mentioned me. He said, shout out to you, man. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jessica. He talking about I said the big homie in the chat, and he started laughing. I said, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I said,
I think Faston is in I think he went back home for a second.
yeah, I've
That's
heard.
why we haven't heard from him
Yeah, yeah. He's a good
lately.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I was trying to get Kuda to come by because
Hmm.
if he saw you up there, if he swam by. So, she came up here. He came before. Wacky came on the panel once.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
I try to come back over. I know I'm subscribed, so I see them when you go
Okay,
live from
cool,
time to
cool,
time. Yeah,
cool, cool.
absolutely.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man.
Indeed. Well, man, thanks for having me, man. I'm gonna hop down. About to get back to my
Okay.
square. About to get back to the
Yeah.
square life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. I'll
All
let
right,
you.
man. All right.
Yep,
Peace,
yep.
man. Yep, that was Gabe A. Appreciate the brother. Yeah, it's the static. It's like that's his business. I don't even care. Biden came around and won. He's still suffering from that. You know, he's a Trump guy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I decided to throw this video up, like, we was talking about this topic right here. I said, yeah, it's just something I saw from BGS's old Blackpill videos. I'm trying to break down why they teach this stuff. And, like, these dudes are so obsessed with philosophy, man. It reminds me of the metaphysical thing in the Sinetta days in 2012. They was arguing about that and pro-black stuff. And I see a lot of division in 2.0, and I'm like, oh man, this is sad. DS1 is a trip. He be clowning these dudes, man. Like, look, he warned them. So you know how it is, the females and stuff. I know they have their purpose. He said, no, I ain't against it. I expose all the simps in here. And I said, okay.
but I mean, really, it's the males who messed up.
Yeah, yeah, they messed up. Yeah,
not the females. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
you have people who say don't let the females in your space.
Mm.
Audience in your space. It's like, okay, use your critical thinking skills and which you
I'm here now.
do your due diligence and did your research, and you think for yourself. You guys critical thinking. You're not just accepting anything anybody gives to you. I just wish more people in this space have that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that way of thinking, they often co-sign to a damn ideology that's either not true at all or just happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thus it becomes an echo chamber full of lies.
Yeah. And one thing I learned about I think what Kuda, we had like a disagreement on his panel once about who created this space, but I was trying to reassure him, like, I know he was probably around a different handle as one as a follower, but I said, dude, he kind of respects you in a way, but the thing is that 2.0 thing masked everybody's heads, and I hate to say 1.0 kind of let it happen or whatever happened at the end of it, those guys kind of picked it up. They kind of picked it up in 2014, what I'm thinking, because they took some ideas from number one. So, and then DS1 explained, he said, that's why you got your Edward Andersons and all these other guys. I said, I know people fall in different times. I'm learning about why they think the way they do, but
Can I say? Can I say something? Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt. You said Kuda kind of respects me, but what? I want to hear
no,
it.
what it is. It's hard for him to understand it. Yes, and I try to remind him, you and Soul and Black were the stand and other guys that came before him. I was trying to tell him, yeah, I know you love Angry Man, but Angry Man's trying to do his own thing. He ain't worried about 2.0. He's in it. He's at it with BGS's neck. He's
Yeah,
realizing that now.
but hold on. But hold on. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm sorry to interrupt you. What Kuda said, it's hard for Kuda to understand that the stuff that me and Someone Black speak about was the standard of the space.
Yeah, the 1.0, I was trying to explain to him like the history of it. And he's all, yeah, but you have to understand that because if you learn it from Angry Man BGS perspective, it's kind of hard because what they was told by certain individuals on their side and some 1.0 that wasn't fully 1.0, they give them the lie, say we ran away. No, it's some brothers were here to back up what these guys
Yeah,
were saying.
yeah, but what I want to know specifically, what did Kuda believe? Like you said, he respects me, but like what specifically, what was it within? Though?
He kind of still has that belief, like he tries to pick up 2.0. I understand because that's what he come off of, but he has to understand the guys before him. That's what Angry Man got it from us. He said, really, yeah, I was giving him the history. Like he said, check you out and look at his stuff, and he's telling you in Soul and Black. He's not Soul and Black. He just the thing is 2.0 got in his head. That they act like they're the standard, and I try to remind him, like, look, the history. I know he grew up in the what they call it, the white manosphere. I call them mainstream manosphere, like Big J. I understand, they have their little favorites. They come out of that. And he said, I grew up on that. I said, well, see, that's the problem right there. But he don't know that the mainstream manosphere got it from y'all.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's the thing, and I think Angry Man knows that. He don't want to say nothing. He tried to stop Kuda on a certain streams on the third shift. He's trying to tell him, dude, I'm trying to do my own thing, instead of, gearing podcasting, but not everybody can podcast in the space. It's only a handful. So,
yeah. I keep telling people that this space was independent of the mainstream manosphere.
yeah,
We started off independently, and this space was started by pro blacks. This was a pro black space.
yeah.
Yeah, you was this, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, but yeah, man. But it's like this, man. Me and Zero, we had a little debate earlier today. We was
Uh-oh. Oh,
because
Lord.
because Zero, man, Zero's a smart dude. Like I'm gonna say this, I like Zero and stuff like that. He's a
Yeah,
smart dude,
yeah.
but some of the things he said is not all the way true.
Yeah, yeah. I have an issue with him. I'm cool with. I'm subscribed to him, but
Yeah, me too.
he's just wild. Sometimes I
Yeah, I
tried
know.
to. I tried to. He asked me about the MOT. That ain't serious. What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he cool. He alright, man. I ain't got no problem
Yeah,
with him. But
yeah,
man,
yeah,
some of the things he say, I'm like, come on, man.
yeah.
Because one of Zero's main main beliefs is that almost every single problem in this world, will, one way or another, revolves around sexual access.
Mhm.
You know, well, in his words, he say pussy. But
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm
That's
trying to be clean here, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
he,
their problem. And Kuda tried to tell him, look, if you're gonna have to, he explained both sides, strict and game. He said, if you're gonna do it, but don't try to
yeah,
front like it. And he told me, he's sir, I'm just a square. That's all he's telling me. I said, I know,
but but
I know.
but but uh listen, this is what he was saying. He was trying to make a parallel, right? In which he was trying to compare a specific point in history to what's going on now. So he brought up first. He brought up the ancient Zulus of South Africa, right?
Mhm.
And he was talking about how The Zulus, when they war with the wrong tribe, they killed all the males and they kept all the females for themselves. So he used that to then say that the reason why the reason the Zulus expanded was for pussy, was to get more pussy, right? Then he started making another parallel, and he started talking about the tribal wars that happened in Rwanda. Are you aware of the not the tribal war, but of the genocide that happened in Rwanda back in 1994?
I'm very aware. Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically said that one main reason for the genocide that happened in Rwanda was over some pussy, was because females from one ethnic group found males of another ethnic group more attractive, so a lot of them went to those males of that other ethnic group. I said no. I'm like no, 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 no. I said what caused the genocide in Rwanda and Burundi, which is the African country next door to Rwanda, was bigger than that. It was deeper than that. It wasn't about no damn pussy. It was no about no damn sexual access. It was due to the fact that a certain ethnic group who made up the majority of Rwanda and Burundi was being marginalized, in which they was denied access to the majority of the resources of that country, in which another ethnic group, which is the Tutsis, which make up the minority of the country, they basically receive the majority of the resources in the country. So it was sort of like an unwritten apartheid that happened in both Rwanda and Burundi, where one ethnic group was being mistreated and another ethnic group received all the resources. So as a result of the decades and decades of mistreatment that the Hutus received, so they just snapped. The Hutus snapped and they said, enough is enough. We're not going to keep being mistreated. We're not going to keep being marginalized and denied access to resources, employment, and what have you. We're going to fight back. And what you had? The genocide. So it was not over no damn pussy. So, he was me.
I'll be back. Let me make some adjustments. Hold on. I'll be back. Let's see.
Me and Zero was going back and forth. So I asked everybody on Agon's panel, I said, listen, have any of you guys saw the film called Hotel Rwanda? You remember that film?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So certain people seen it. I said, listen, the character that actor Don Cheadle played, named Paul Rasasa Sabanga. Anyway, that movie was based on a true story, by the way. And the character that actor Don Cheadle played, I met the real life Paul Rasasa Sabanga. I met him.
Wow, really?
Yeah, early, like back in 2005, when I was going to college, he came to my college. He spoke about what was going on in Rwanda. He was on the ground. He was, he's a Rwandan, and he was there when the genocide happened. I mean, he saw so many stuff. I mean, he's seen a lot of shit when he was there, and he almost got killed a few times himself, right? So when he was in college speaking about it, he gave the political implications, because he also said that the Belgian government, who at one time colonized Rwanda, was involved in the mistreatment of the Tutsis because the Belgians, they utilized their power to make sure that the Tutsi ethnic group, which is the minority ethnic group in Rwanda, received the majority of the resources, and they made sure that the majority ethnic group, which is the Hutus, they make sure that they was marginalized. So basically, Paul Rusesabagina was talking about, how the media was given a lot of how the media in Rwanda was giving a lot of There's a lot of false information to rile up the people, like propaganda to rile up the Hutus mainly, and it just all of a sudden caused one big bang. So basically, he was saying that the genocide was over a lack of resources that the Hutus was receiving and the mistreatment that they was facing systematically. I'm like, Paul Rasasa Sabanga never said anything about no damn vagina. So when I said that, I said, listen, I got it from the horse's mouth. He was there. He told us in our college what happened. He never explained about no damn pussy. He never said that the course was about no damn pussy. Either way, Zero didn't want to hear it. Zero was sticking to what he believed happened in Rwanda. I'm
typical
like,
Zero. Yeah, typical Zero. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, but my thing is that, listen, and this is no disrespect to Zero,
Mm-hmm.
but I disagree with him when he was talking about that shit. I disagree.
Yeah.
But my thing is that when the viewing audience hears something like that, okay, they hear me and Zero debating, us going back and forth, us not agreeing. Now, you as the viewing audience, you have a responsibility. When I mean you, I'm not saying you personally, sir. I'm using that in general.
Mm-hmm.
You as the viewing audience see that, you have a responsibility to go back, go dig in the crates, do your research, and to find out the truth, whether or not the genocide in Rwanda happened as a result of the lack of vagina, or based on what I said, systematic mistreatment.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say, I'm sorry to sound long-winded, but what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people refuse to do their due diligence. They just rather believe in what a content creator says, not knowing whether or not they're telling you the truth, a lie, or half truth and half lie. But I've said too much. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's just, you're right. Like, I think I had fun over Kudos. We be talking about different things besides game, but he's trying to say, don't even listen to me, man. Like, you got to do your own due diligence, how you deal with life. Get off this internet, man. Like, he's trying to do different things, clean up his content. Like, everybody's trying to do that. I've noticed. Because all that beef and stuff don't get you nowhere. Let Kevin be Kevin. I don't even talk about him that much. And you got these followers, don't know people. Yeah, basically what this video I'm putting out is basically like stuff like you hear from the 2.0 spaces like BGSM types. You got to watch these esoteric people. They'll throw words to confuse the youngsters and try to use it on people like it's a doctrine, but it has its pros and cons. That's why I put it up there. Now, me and Gabe talked about it. Yeah, you got to have some input and some fallouts and things like that, but you have to learn to agree to disagree or disagree to disagree. And I think our new style made a live stream about that. And Complex got in, and I told you about Beasley. Beasley's just half trolling him, and he was out of argument, out of character. I tried to tell Complex, man, you gotta let that go, man. He got you. He got you up in your feelings for a minute. He's just messing with you. And some people just do it for fun, and some people just do it for information. You just got to learn to talk.
Beasley, he trolls for fun.
Yeah.
He trolls for fun. I mean, it's, I've heard Beasley a few times. I've been, gotten conversation with him a few times. Yeah, he trolls for fun.
He's got a channel called General Beasley, but he got flagged on the president for Beasley for the music and stuff. But he has some good stuff, But we talked, and I think he's the same sign as you. But he said, I think you have to have composure when you talk to these people, because some people just don't have a little fun, but you can learn at the same time. But but I learned from different people, and me and Gabe had a long conversation a few minutes ago about things and like that in this topic. I said, yeah, I just pulled some sources out. I just talked to Sheed earlier. He had to drop off. So, yeah. So I had two people. I'm surprised Gabe subscribed. And I said, man, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Gabe. I was on a live with Gabe, I think last night.
Yeah.
On Rudemp's channel. Rudemp.
Yeah, Rude's silly. Yeah. Rude's something else. I was on a panel with Gabe first time with him. I was used to talk to him in the chats, and he'd be trolling and he'd be doing donations, right? And he told me how he does it. It's just easy. But when he argued with Beach, that's over there with Kudas, right? I never thought they was gonna argue, and they went at it, and it was a midday stream that he did, and I was on the panel.
Who's that?
I think it's Beach, something like Beach is like something like she's cool with Kuda and them and Ism and them, but she always on Kuda's panels mostly. She got an argument with Gabe, and Gabe was messing with her. He said, "You be shaking your your ass on camera and all that stuff, messing with her." He said, "Oh, you been what?" She said something with a remark, and I started laughing. I said, "Oh, here we go." Yeah.
I remember when Gabe went on the Black Brain Trust. This happened a few months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and man, he got into a full out argument. He went on the panel and got into a full out argument with several of the members of the Black Brain Trust, and I happened to just click on the video, and they was right in the middle of the argument. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Gabe has a history with them guys, and I'm not gonna get into it because Compa said, "Yeah, we helped his wife," and so he said something on Zero Stream. I'm like, I let that go. Gabe likes to mess with it, and DJ Kuda said it best when they was with the Brain Trust. It was a lot of times like that, and I'm like, wow, yeah.
But But you said B's the same sign as me. Oh,
yeah, Sagittarius. Yeah.
Y'all believe the zodiac? I don't believe in that stuff.
I mean, sometimes I do, but I understand the characteristics of people. I mean, they're great storytellers. Look at DMX and Jay-Z. I mean, their lives are different. They were friends, but they took two different paths. So, I don't judge neither one of them. I had a grandmother that was a Sagittarius. She told those wild stories, man.
Okay.
Yeah. But I understand it though. It wasn't wild, but some of it was true.
Okay.
If he was bad growing up, so you know how it was. So yeah.
Because I came in. It's funny because speaking of Agon's channel, right? When I came onto the panel earlier today, they were speaking about astrology, and I said, "Man, you believe in this shit?" And everybody started laughing at Jessica. I think Jessica X, she was on there. She was on a roll. Talking about zodiac signs. So I came on the panel. When I said that, everybody started laughing, and Jessica X got quiet, right? So I was like, damn, maybe I'll put a monkey wrench in Jessica X's speech, because you know how Jessica X when she be on the roll, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, maybe I'll put a monkey wrench in what she was saying. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, shoot. But I told her, I was like, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful and all that,
Yeah.
but I just honestly don't believe in zodiacs,
Yeah.
She was like, nah, it's cool.
The only ones in this space believes that is, I think, Kuda, Art of New Style, and a few others. And Art of Idmore, he don't believe in it as much, but we're the same sign. We're Tauruses, so we have little grudges there and there. But sometimes I don't get into it that much. It's only two signs you can learn from: quality and element signs. That's about it. Ain't nothing serious. I read up on it. I'm like, oh, okay. That's just something they made up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I like when I tell people that I don't believe in zodiac signs, right after I tell them that, they then ask me, "What's your sign?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yo, I just told you I didn't believe it." Okay. Oh yeah. What up, new Shaka Nulu? Yeah, he was there on the stream. He said it wasn't that wacky. We already talking about it long before you show. Okay. Cool. All right.
He had to confirm that.
So going back to what I was saying, I be telling them, I'm like, dude, I already told you I don't believe in it. Then they turn around and ask me what's my birthday. I'm like, you basically asking me the same question.
Damn.
You wanna know my birthday because you want to know my sign after I just told you I don't believe in it. So then I say, okay, fuck it. I was born on this month and this day. Oh, you're a Sagittarius. Oh, well, Sagittarius. Oh, Sagittarius. That means that you this, you that. Dude, I just told you I don't believe in it. Which part don't you get? Why are you trying to tell me what my qualities are when A, you don't know me, okay? And B, I already told you I don't believe in it. Why are you telling me something that I already established with you that I don't believe?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it all goes down to, like I said, critical thinking skills, utilizing logic and being able to process when someone tells you something. Someone says something, okay, you may disagree, but at least respect the fact that that's not what that person believes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've spoken too much and it's sort of off topic. Sorry about that.
Nah, you good, man. I'm through with it anyway because I said it with Gabe and Sheed already. It's kind of redundant. I just want to put this on the stream, like what's his name, PK Angel, so you can look at it. I'll tell him that I made a stream on it. If I bump into him again in the space, that he was asking me about it, and that's basically for him and a few others. So that out there. Yeah.
Okay, but yo, I'm about to bounce, man. It was good speaking with you, bro.
Oh yeah, same here, man. You're always welcome over here, man. I ain't them types just trying to knock dudes off. I mean, I do the same thing you do. No nigga shit over here. So we good.
Most definitely. Thank
Yeah.
you for inviting me, man.
Oh, not a problem, man. Shalom, man.
All right, shalom, bro. Shalom.
Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. Yeah. I used to be into it and have understand. She's more into it. I just like a door. Yeah. Same here, New. Yeah, man. I'm about to shut this down, man. It's over an hour. I'm gonna take my ass to go to bed. All right, I'm gonna stop screen share for a minute. Yeah, it's a great stream. You got Gabe, Wacky, salute to come out here. Shalom, Wacky. New. Yep. Peace, man. Yeah. I'm gonna shut this down. May y'all bless y'all again. Shalom. Yeah, I have to work on the static, on the noise. I'm gonna use these Heyday headphones from now on. I think I sound better on them. But yeah, man, that's just a piece of the live stream I did. I'm gonna stop screen sharing and all that stuff. But man, I mean, that was it for the topic. I went longer than before. Yeah, I'm gonna shut this down, guys. I'm gonna say shalom. Peace to everybody that came through.